pain.
Are you ready? I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad. I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that. I'm scared of it.
It would be awesome to, be being a great war. Maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go. Wait,
I have to put the joke.
No. Hey, thank you. Perfect for playing, man. I appreciate it. Good timing.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Así es, damas y caballeros, la emoción sigue aquí el MC Studio en Dallas. We are en vivo. Long Live Boxing Podcast, as always, con Manny Marrero.
Sean El Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Breaking it down like it is, like it should be, just like I roll my R's.
Rápido.
Thank you so much, everyone. Just
Well done.
remember to like, subscribe, do us a favor. That does
Share.
help our content.
Please.
Comments.
We'll continue to bring some great stuff for you. Episode 64, about to be getting going. A lot of stuff happening in the boxing world, but
Big weekend.
Halloween Havoc.
I mean, and on top of that, two things. Number one,
Blue Moon.
Blue Moon. Damn, there's so many
It
things
was
going
a
on.
blue
But
moon.
number one,
Apocalypse.
knockout of the year, and number two, we had our good friend El Hermano in house
En
out there in
vivo.
Aladomon, San Antonio.
In the house.
Hi, in vivo.
Hopper.
Wow, Hop.
Forget that guy,
we've seen
man.
some.
What a jerk.
We've seen some pictures. I'm sure you had a really good time with.
I
you
thought
and
that
your
was
family. Photoshopped.
I
Yeah.
cropped myself onto
You had
the
a green
Alamo
screen?
Dome. Yes. No,
Man,
yes.
I mean, what was the excitement going around? I mean, this is very few people get to witness a big, huge main pay-per-view event. PBC.
PBC.
house.
PBC in the house in vivo. Yes, I was present. Wearing my mask at all times.
Beautiful.
Keeping
At
it safe
all
in it
times.
2020.
And sanitized. That's how we roll.
Keeping them
But
clean.
No, but shout out to the 2-0 San Antonio. Great fight city. The fans turned out. Nobody acted a fool from what I saw. But more importantly, guys, I felt safe there. I felt safe with
That's
the
good to
safety
hear.
with the safety precautions that the PBC and the people at the Alamo Dome, the officials there, the measures that they took. I was impressed. Sanitizer everywhere. People had to wear their masks at all times. The walking lanes were divided, and the seats were pretty much segregated to where nobody was in front of you or behind you because that row was closed, and nobody was either to your left or to your right, depending on the size of your party. All the other seats would be empty. So
Right.
you had I had plenty of elbow
So we could have
room.
been there. We
left.
could have been there.
You guys we could have been there right there rolling. But no, it was a great experience. The atmosphere was electric. The Alamo Dome is huge.
Well, I mean,
I understand. I
yeah.
understand why they did it, because normally I don't think this fight would require the Alamo Dome because it's a football stadium.
yeah.
But I understand why they reserved the spot there because of the COVID, and you can spread everybody out.
Right.
The only thing I will say is put some escalators in there, por favor.
So
My
that make you worked
goodness.
out.
Oh,
Working them calf muscles.
because the tickets were a little on the pricey side, and I could only afford the cheaper nosebleeds way
It's
up
okay.
at the top.
In the bleeds.
We was there.
And I would say I'm in okay shape. Just getting to the third floor on stairs, it was tough. It was a challenge. I would see people walking up there just exhausted. Ugh.
Yeah, I imagine.
Everybody had the same look
Let me
on
get
their face.
a style. Oh, there's a beer
What's
stand
the-
there. Let me just
Yes.
get a hydrate myself.
Once they got to the top, you could just see everybody's expression. Like there are no escalators in there.
So
anywhere.
was there any concern about, we know we got this COVID stuff going on, and fans know they were up to, when you go to these events, but was there any more concern of people around the circumstances, or were just really the hype and the fans ready for some action?
No, the fans were just ready for some action. They were ready for everybody. Everybody was treating this with respect. They were being smart about
That's
it.
good.
The masks were being worn. People were at a distance. Nobody, like I said, everybody Everybody acted accordingly. I usually don't have fight fans. Sometimes the fans can get real rowdy. And I think that's probably what helped, just having everybody split up. Everybody split up. Nobody's in each other's face. Yeah, nobody's in anybody's face, because I had my Mexican flag, and, when you get up, you're obviously going to block somebody's vision. No, none of have that. I was more than enough space, and it was impressive. I was thoroughly, I enjoyed it, and I can, with the upcoming fight here, the Earl Spence and Danny Garcia, I can say it's the way the PBC handled it. If it's like the Tank and Leo, we'll be fine. Or whoever plans to attend, you'll be fine.
Well, we had some sporting events in the Cowboy Stadium, so I'm sure besides PBC, the whole facility,
especially the Cowboys,
has additional protocols.
They'll probably take it next level.
Oh, absolutely.
Jerry's not going to play around.
He ain't playing around.
So as far as now the facilities, you felt safe, you felt accommodated, you felt prepared to sit back and enjoy a hell of an event, and the event didn't disappoint. So as far as the card itself and taking in the fight, did you have a good vantage point viewing the fight? Did they have video screens?
Yes, I had a great vantage point from the ring, but also they had 4 huge TVs on the corner of the Alamo Dome, 4 huge screens, and then the one in the center. And so you could it was impossible to not know what's going on, because everywhere there was a screen. Whatever angle you were sitting on, there was a screen. So, and then plus the ring, obviously. But sometimes it was better to see the screen just to get a quick glance at it. But other than that, everything went well. The fans did not disappoint. The fight card did not disappoint. 4 straight knockouts. No fight went longer than what was it? 7 rounds, 7, 8 rounds.
#, no judges.
No judges needed.
Which is good.
Which is great. Yeah. Yes, which is great. Kind of deprives us from the opportunity for a donkey of the week, but hey, we'll take it if it's nothing but knockouts.
No, we'll definitely take it. So it sounds like it was a win-win across the board. But some things I've definitely been meaning to ask you, brother. I know I don't know about Manny, but I definitely have some questions. Okay, so. Aside from the main event, was there a fight that kind of stood out to you?
I really enjoyed all of them, but more particularly maybe Regis, the way he handled it, because remember he came in a little overweight and had to take some extra time to lose the weight, but he finished the fight. And he turned it up. Once he turns it up, it's over. Regis is a very powerful young man.
Well, not only that, after he devastating loss, because we had a lot of promises for him, and after losing to Josh Taylor, then this is a time to redeem himself and kind of get back into that spotlight.
Yeah. I mean, with all the big names that were fighting during Halloween Havoc,
his
name almost went under the radar. In fact, even when you look on the timeline of Twitter, you don't really see even the knockout.
No, and he was
I missed the knockout.
He was like the third.
You did too. You missed the knockout. No,
in the third round.
It was my cousin. I texted him. I'm like, "What happened to
Grace? He already won."
I went to the restroom. He's like, "I went outside for a second." I'm like, "Wow, missed it."
Yeah, a really good one as well was the co-main Cowboy Carl.
And,
and Mario Barrios. And he has his fans showed out. I think that's why he was the co-main for a reason.
Right? No, absolutely.
But no, when he fought, everybody. Yes, that's the hometown kid. He got standing ovations. He got the crowd excited, and that's what set the tone for the main event. So that was brilliant matchmaking, of course.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that because I've heard it a couple of times. People have their opinions, and that's what we do here on the show. I was kind of surprised, maybe. I guess people questioning the name or star power, even though they had Prograis on there. I thought it was a good card. I mean, do you think top to bottom, was it pay-per-view worthy?
Pay-per-view worthy? It's a good question, Gringo. I would probably lean just because it's really only one fight. You kind of knew how the other fights were going to play out. Kind of knew Regis Prograis was going to get the win and probably a knockout. You kind of knew that Mario Barrios was a little, or that Cabo Car was a little overmatched. It's just a little size-wise. Right. Mario Barrios just had the bigger the advantage. So kind of there was no wondering what was going to happen. It was pretty certain who was going to win. And even the main event, we all kind of knew the way it was going to play out. And the fight itself, I mean, it didn't disappoint for as long as it lasted. And I have to commend Leo for daring to be great, for moving up in that weight. I know a lot of people are knocking Davis and trying not to give him credit, Like, oh, he fought a little guy, But at the end of the day, Leo signed up for the fight.
Right.
He stepped in the ring. He dared to be great. He tried, and he lost. And he made no excuses about it. So why should anybody else make excuses for it? He took his loss like a man.
I love about this fight.
He took his loss like a man. And Gervonta Davis responded, a very classy show of mutual respect. Davis thanked him for the opportunity. He was glad to hear that him and his father are okay.
Mm.
And I think Davis should get his credit. I don't think people should try to knock him for Leo going up in weight. Hey, he decided to take it.
Well, we said it. We said that he had nothing to lose, to be honest. Yep. I mean, to the contrary, everything to gain. Build, just add a little bit more cherry and some sprinkles on top for this legacy. That's what he was trying to do.
Yep.
And you got to have cojones.
That's what we want from him.
Exactly. That's
dare
why I
to be great.
Respect him
Dare to be great.
so much. And not only that, I respect him even more right now, even though he lost.
That's what I wanted.
I know that you. Yeah, I know that you. And I wanted to ask you your overall experience, how you felt when you kind of see that knockout. But talking about Leo Santa Cruz, I mean, he looked very strong.
He did.
And compared to
really
when he fought, Frampton, when he fought.
I like him at 130, which sounds crazy because he
or
lost.
Or even Miguel Flores, because he started to kind of move up like that, and I was like, what is he doing moving up? He's just a skinny little guy. He looked very firm in his stance. He had his really good rhythm going on. The jab was working well. I'm glad to see him. He wasn't twitching a lot.
Nice aggressive pace.
But he always
his right hand was still.
But he always finds something
that
gets him uncomfortable. This time was, this time it was his wardrobe. He's just like, But anyway, that's Leo Santa Cruz. You'll find something. But I think I have to give him a lot of courage because he definitely performed to the highest level. He knew what he was getting into. He knew exactly the consequences, and I think he never underestimated the power of him. I'm just feeling pretty sad because, the chances he took. But before I give my perspective, Hopper, how did you feel, when you know that he's leading the pack? Yeah, I think I had it 5-1 at that time, before the fight ended. And how did you feel when all of a sudden, he's leading? He's actually winning the round. I think the only round that I kind of gave him was the 5th round to Gervonta Davis, but he was actually, leading that round 6. So, what was
that was actually one of his better rounds.
Yeah, no,
it sounds crazy.
I mean, 4th round was great. They had a lot of exchanges. I think that for me, Leo took that round because he was a little bit more active in the beginning. Kind of like after the 51st seconds of the fight, they started really going at it. But you were there.
Yeah, I mean,
he was leading the fight pretty much. Like
he was
blowing it out.
It was.
What was your overall opinion now?
He was leading the fight. He was. And I want to say something about his corner, maybe not adjusting there. Maybe they didn't see that Tank was setting up the uppercut. They didn't have a plan for that. And then you could tell Tank was throwing it all night, that he was trying to set him up for it. And Leo wanted to engage. For some reason, he just got sloppy with his defense and got comfortable. Because he was aggressive. Leo was pretty aggressive.
Love it. Mm-hmm.
He took the fight to him, and Davis had some knocks on his face. He had some digs on his some bruises on his face. So Leo took it to him, and then just got sloppy with his defense, and that's what happens. That's what remember in our predictions and what I kept telling all my friends is that they asked me, is it going to be a good fight? I go, Leo, or who's going to win? I tell them I think Tank's going to win. But if Leo does win, he's going to have to box the fight of his life. He's going to have to. He's going to work the ring, jab, keep him honest, maybe with the jab cross. And for a good part of it, he was doing it. And then just all it takes is one punch, especially with a heavy hard hitter puncher like Tank.
Yeah. It's something that it kind of came to fruition. So it's, it wasn't surprising as far as the outcome. I mean, we were talking about it. And I mean, it's not even about being right, but saying that it was going to be a stoppage like mid round. One thing that concerned me going into it was not, the heart of Leo Santa Cruz or his ability to kind of, box and work on the outside and utilize his jab and reach, was that he didn't have enough power to keep Tank off him. And that really concerned me on the inside. It showed more and more. And then
6th round, that's what happened.
He really hit him a couple of combinations that really, kind of shook Tank a little bit, but it wasn't anything like Tank was like, okay, if this is the best you got, I mean, I can take this.
Tank turned it up in that 6th round, and
I think
it's like he turned the on switch, and then
Yeah, with that
And
twerk he put on that
Yeah.
uppercut, and
Well,
there's no coming back from that.
We've
KO of the year, by the way, for
exactly.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
a
for
good,
me,
great
I mean, we
punch.
give a lot of props to Leo. Absolutely, he deserves everything. But I have to say, for those of you that have ever doubted Tank Davis, and I'm gonna be very honest, I'm not a huge like go crazy fan of Tank Davis. I think it's because the fact that a lot of his whole trash talking back and forth, him not being fully committed into the sport because you couldn't wait for a couple fights, even the Gamboa fight as well. And we doubted the passion he really has for the sport.
Yeah.
But at this particular case, man,
Great point, man.
couple of things.
Touch on that.
Yeah, and couple of things I really saw in this fight. Two things. A lot of people respect the power of Tank Davis, but a lot of people question the IQ. And for me, this fight really proved that not only he's got the power punching, he also has the dedication because he proved that making weight, no questions asked. But he also, his IQ level has increased to the point timing the boxer. And I'm just going to go specific right before that knockout. If you look at Leo is pretty much dominating the fight. He leads with 3 jabs, and it was very successful. Then he comes with the right hand. It is successful, kind of shook a little bit, Tank. He comes back again with that right hand, just like a jab. And here is the timing. Here's the thinking. Well, I know I'm losing the fight because I think Tank knew he was losing the fight. But as you know, and thinking and say, what can I do to finally land this punch? He came back the 3rd time, and that was the perfect timing for him to come with that uppercut. And another interesting thing that he landed that same punch, but not upstairs. He was downstairs. So I think Leo thought at one point that he's going to get me in the body. And I'm going to take it because I took a couple of those. But he wasn't expecting. And that was a full body motion uppercut that completely, takes your neck and almost breaks it apart. So what I'm trying to say with this, and you guys can agree or disagree with that, Tank Davis is legit. And I think right now he's getting smarter and smarter. The only thing that I'm still kind of slightly a little bit is, and I'm sure he's going to work on it, but because he's got a lot of stuff going in the future, is how committed you're going to be outside the ring to make sure that everything happens.
Good thing you touched on that because today, Thursday, November the 5th, it was reported that Tank Davis was involved in a hit and run.
That's the problem. That's the problem
where I'm coming
from.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that earlier about his IQ. And in the ring, definitely, it's improving. But out of the ring, you just had somebody, in your friend Earl Spence involved in something like that, and he was involved in a hit and run. So we'll touch on it some more as more details progress. But early reports state that yes, he was the driver and took off. So yeah, we just got to make sure he keeps his head on straight.
Yeah, because he's got the talent, man. I mean, he's listen. When you talked about if it's a pay-per-view worthy, do you feel it's pay-per-view worthy right now after the fight, after you saw everything? Especially knowing that how at the elite level Tank Davis is right now performing.
Yeah, keep in mind I'm poor, but I think that it is.
I'm glad you didn't stream it.
Yeah. It's a pay-per-view. He's a pay-per-view, big time fighter for sure. He's a star, and like that's the thing that I was going to kind of ask, to you guys. It's funny how even with all those hurdles and those opportunities where you seem like he's kind of just throwing it away, and fortunately what we heard today, and hopefully it worked out where things aren't going to get worse for him, but people do gravitate towards him, and I know that something you mentioned, Hopper. I kind of want to get your opinion on that before we kind of transition to some other topics, but. How about the way he's being handled by the guy we give a hard time, Money Mayweather?
Brilliant. Yeah, great question, Sean.
Yeah.
Before I answer it though, the punch, you know what it reminded me of? Because he did set it up and throw it to the body.
Mm-hmm.
First thing that came to my mind was the way Canelo did Amir Khan. And he tried to, he faked it like he was going to come in the body and just laid him out. You see, Gringo, I can always match Canelo into the show somehow. I can always throw him into the
hashtag Canelo.
Hashtag Canelo will always be mentioned at
Go Nello
one time. But yes, back to Floyd Mayweather and the brilliant. I have to commend. Floyd is a genius. To me, he's always going to be the greatest business boxer.
But is he the right mentor? as the leader
you
that
know
you
what?
are?
I think
Because
so.
I mean, we've never seen
because
Floyd outside issues.
See, I
He's
don't
never got any trouble. Like you never. Well.
I mean,
In terms of like
the things that we
I mean, he did
know.
go to
yeah,
jail.
yeah. Well, I mean, no, not out
Not
of the
that.
ring, in the ring.
But what I'm
But,
saying is a consistency of a troublemaker outside the ring that is just very difficult to pull back. He hasn't been that guy.
No,
And he's still
yeah.
considered a huge role model. But is he that type of guy that can
As
he
a
can
role
motivate,
model,
he can
no, but
push
as
him,
a-
he can
as a-
give tips? Because you see him, he came back and forth talking to Tank. Has no business as a promoter
out of
to
the
be
ring,
talking to Tank.
out of the ring
Yeah.
influence. You're talking about okay,
exactly. So he has
I
no
was
reason to be
leaning
doing
towards
that.
the-
But he comes in.
Inside of the ring, he's a great man. So he really wasn't in trouble in the ring, unless maybe Castillo Maidana. But out of the ring, yes, I think Tank. I'm just gonna talk about his promotional side right now. The way Floyd is promoting him, making him come out with the sombrero, the
Yeah.
Mexican sombrero.
Absolutely.
A lot of people were thinking he was trolling. I was like, no, I don't think
He's
he's
not.
trolling. I think
There's
he's
a story
playing,
behind
he's
it.
playing homage to the Mexicanos.
Yeah.
Floyd is smart. He knows who buys the pay-per-views. That's why he always fought in May and September. Close to the Mexican Independence Days or traditional, even like the Puerto Rican parade. Those are big
Yeah,
days, big
exactly.
fighting days as well.
Absolutely.
So they know this, and Floyd knows this. So he's just trying to cater to a certain demographic. I don't think people should get offended by the fact that he came. They were backwards. I mean, the hat was backwards. I don't understand why you can just get somebody to
fix it for
to
you. If you're
fix
gonna
it
do it
for you.
right.
But as far as out of the ring influence, I don't know. I think they all live that lifestyle, and you've already seen it. That little circle, Earl and now Tank involved in crashing, and you have to assume. I don't know. Maybe why did he take off? Maybe he was under the influence. You never know. We don't know. We're just speculating. Maybe he was until the report comes out. But yeah, it's these out of the ring issues that can get you caught up. Look at Adrian Broner. He was in court the other day.
Yeah,
Broke. Talking about how he's broke.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
I thought he was supposed to make
about billions, and he's broke. He's in there talking to the judge is
About
asking
billions
him.
in
The
taxes.
judge is asking him, "Where did you get that money that you flaunt in your videos?" Oh, they sent it to me. Tank, Al Heyman. It was sad watching him. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Man, let me sell you $20, brother. Here you
I know,
go.
right?
Cash app him.
Here
you got
go.
Vimo? Oh, you can't afford to get an app?
But yeah,
iPhone?
but as far as the way Tank's being promoted now, I have to applaud Floyd, and he's steering him the right way.
Could that go against them? Because we know for a fact that nowadays, a lot of the fights that we want to be able to see, sometimes we can't.
Not possible.
They can't really get through because
Oh, man.
promotion stuff, contractual issues. Would that really hurt not only the sport boxing but also Tank Davis? Because
Yes,
we won't be
'cause
able to
we
see
see it.
some of these great, the Ryan Garcia, the Devin Haney's, the Teofimos. I mean,
Teofimo, and then even throw Loma in there,
Yeah.
or however you want to do it. But yes, and it's the same problem that Terrence Crawford faces at the top rank. He can't really get some of the bigger names. And I think in Tank's case, had to make Leo come up in weight just to have a big opponent for him. And I think he's going to struggle maybe finding an opponent. I don't see Floyd putting him in there with any of those guys anytime soon.
do you believe he'll probably stay at the junior lightweight
130 or 135, right? He can-
132, 130, 130, and probably maybe meet some of these guys that we know for a fact he can really continue to build on his legacy, unified, undisputed, who knows?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see because he's got options, right, Gringo?
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that even though he's an independent and he's he does partner with Matchroom, that being Devin Haney. I think that the Devin Haney. I wish it would happen. I don't think that's ever going to happen, honestly.
Nah, I think
Who would you
Devin
like him
Haney's
to
the
see?
odd
Devin
man
Haney?
out.
You want to see him fight?
That would be the dream. But I think a fight.
What about Mr. Gary Russell Jr.?
Actually, all jokes aside, Gary Russell.
He called him out. He called him out
Yeah.
the other day.
I
I was
mean-
licking my chops.
Yeah, I was too, sir.
I was like,
I call him
You
nachos. I literally was though.
yeah. For
So
sure.
the thing is, at first, like I was getting annoyed because he was blowing smoke and he wasn't following it up and he was just kind of
Right.
talking.
Yeah.
But it was one of the boasts he was saying about, I want that boy, saying that he wants Tank Davis.
he wants everyone. He wants Crawford. He wants
Fights nobody.
No, but see,
Get him Canelo. I'll go up to 160.
He's gonna call out Canelo
out
in
of
his
all
next
those
video.
they had,
Canelo, I saw you fight.
I know.
I was licking,
I was looking my chops.
I was licking my chops.
No, but that fight, I think could be made.
DC versus
Yeah. DC versus Baltimore. I think you fight that. Gary Russell Jr. versus
It's big
Tank
business
Davis.
over there.
That would be huge. I think that would be a huge fight. I think
I don't want to see that.
You don't want to see that?
You don't want to see that?
Oh, I would love that.
Honestly, because I don't think Gary Russell is in that league.
Oh, I do. I have to
disagree
with you.
I'm one of those that continue to say,
with you.
listen, we haven't seen him for a while. I mean, we haven't seen him in a
Trust
while.
me. Hey,
we haven't seen him fight anyone, whether everyone's ducking on him or there's no really fight. For me, why don't you stick into the featherweights and fight?
The last guy he fought.
Fight some of these guys that are up and coming at the featherweight.
King
Hey,
Tut.
you got Vaquero Navarrete who's making a statement at the featherweight 126. You need to handle business out there. You're just trying to nit and pick and see who can you go out there and, land a big payday, and then, you haven't taken care of yet of anything. I had to go back and see replays of Gary Russell Jr. to kind of remind myself how.
I can't believe we're talking about that guy right now, but
I know, right?
Here's
Deviated our
Russell.
conversation.
Yeah,
but
'cause I mean-
the fact is that you mentioned that you wanted to
You wouldn't
see
want
him.
to
no,
see that
I mean,
fight. Yeah,
let me just clarify. It's not like a dream fight. Like I'm going to buy the poster. But Gary Russell Jr., all right, I think, he is the WBC champion at 126.
Yeah.
I think at 130 at Tank, I could see that.
Yes, and I give.
Is it Tank's benefit to do that right now?
To shut up, Gary. It's
Yes,
to the world's
that's
benefit, sir.
If it makes money, it benefits him.
That makes money.
If
I think
yes, me too. In the Baltimore DC area, that's a big rivalry there. And then each city's gonna go out there and support their own. Nah, I think
It's going to make money
I
because
think
of
highly
trash talking.
I think
to be
highly
honest,
of Gary
but-
Russell, man. I mean, he's had Jojo Diaz. He handled him pretty easily. He gave Vasily Lomachenko a hell of a fight.
Right.
And then the last guy he fought, King Tut. I mean, he can't be easily dismissed.
So-
I understand. I understand.
Yeah,
He's-
because
he's a guy that no one wants to
So,
fight
hey,
him.
I'm
He's
not
much
trying to,
trash talking, but it's like
I'm not
it's
the
a
Gary Russell
forgotten
Jr.
guy.
Me neither. I'm
apologist.
not. I'm not a Gary Russell
forgotten
Jr.
guy.
fan.
Talk to
either.
people about, hey, Gary Russell Jr. They're like thinking, Kurt Russell, who that is?
He's not
You know what I mean? No, listen,
Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe. They don't, right? So, and that's the sad thing about him, and that's hurting his career.
Ray Allen?
And in order for him to establish himself and get to know himself better, he needs to continue to fight. When was the last fight?
He fought. He fought when in
More than a year?
February 2020.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
that was
remember
King
watching this
Tut
fight. Yeah,
6
he fought. He had the whole lion thing going on.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're talking way too much about Gary Russell.
Yeah, you
but
know what,
let-
Mr. Gary Russell, you got your shine on already.
Yeah, all right.
I
So
know you're
let me just go
watching.
ahead and say this, and I'll rank him
At
real
us.
quick. We got to get to Usyk and some other hot topics for our
Usyk.
listeners. But I would, I would like that fight. I would also like to see Tank Davis versus Jojo Diaz. I think that would be cool.
That'd be a
at
great
130.
fight. That would be an
And then
amazing
another fight that actually
would
my
love to
dream
see-
fight.
Oh,
Alacron.
don't take it from you. Took it from me.
Sorry,
I would
didn't say
love. No, that's
No, finish saying it.
we're in the same wave.
That
with
would
the mind
be
wave.
amazing.
That would be because I do think Belcher's gonna beat Valdez. I do give Alacran. I would love to see Alacran and Tank Davis. It could set a storyline. Maybe
Mexican Independence Day?
Exactly. Maybe on Mexican Independence Day, and Alacran just gets offended. You knocked out my compatriot. I'm coming for you.
No, but think about this.
Getting
I mean,
Mexican revenge.
let's try
Really,
to
guys.
let's try to convince our brother Manny.
Hell,
convince
You
me.
can't tell
Convince
me,
me.
that
Convince
wouldn't
me.
impress you. So if Tank fought next, let's say he fought Jojo Diaz,
Oh wow, that's
Gary
a great
Russell
fight.
Jr., and Burchelt in the same year
130 pounds.
at 130. That you wouldn't be impressed by that.
Well, here's the deal.
Oh, that
You
makes
guys
no.
like
that's
you
a no.
guys like
That's a no.
you guys like appetizers. You guys
What?
like appetizers. Get me to the
Oh,
dinner.
look
Get me to
at
the
my
real
flag.
stuff. Get me to the entree.
At least
I
the-
want to see Tank Davis
Burchelt is not-
fighting. I want to see Tank
Burchelt
Davis
is a
fighting
champ.
Haney.
He's a lobster.
I want that to be able to happen.
He's
Dad.
a steak and sizzle.
right. With some
I want
bacon and chives on a
they are
potato.
not. I want him to see them fight Devin Haney. I want him to see
Wow,
him
so
fight
so-
Ryan Garcia. I
so in
want to
your
go to
eyes-
the entree right
in
now.
your
Okay,
eyes-
yeah,
in
we
your
gotta
start
eyes-
eating the real meal
in your eyes,
before I go into
he
the
defeats
the
all of those guys
appetizers.
easy. He defeats all those
He
guys.
didn't even blink. He was like,
Nah, he whoops them all. Jojo Diaz, champion.
They're
He
all
will.
champions.
Alacran, champion. Like no interest in just seeing any of those guys.
Because you're saying it. He'll beat those guys. Didn't you just
I
say
don't
that?
know.
He'll
I
beat
don't
those
know.
guys.
I'm asking.
Why
no,
would I?
No.
Do
was
I? You
asking.
just said it's easy. He'll beat those guys. He'll be champion.
No, it's
No,
easy.
fight
I
Jojo
was
Diaz as a
asking
champion.
you if you think he'll beat those guys. That's why.
Oh,
you're so
absolutely. I would
dismissive
think
for-
he'll beat
No,
those
I
guys.
think
I would think so. I would think so. First of all, Burchelt.
I think Jojo
I mean,
would give him a hell of a fight.
Burchelt.
I think all of them.
I think
would.
all those guys because one, they're not. That's their natural weight. They're not. They're going to be a little more
yeah,
physically
I
stronger
mean-
than Leo.
But listen, if you ask me, I think Burchelt is a great fighter. I think Burchelt takes too many risks. In last two fights that I've seen Burchelt, he has gotten hit so hard, and he will not take Tank Davis punch, to be honest.
Can
So that's going to be
Tank take his?
He was getting hit a lot.
Yeah, Tank. Hey, Leo,
but he
Leo,
still got him.
Leo
He still
because
took him.
okay,
People say that he was gassed out by the 5th round. I didn't see him gassed out, to be honest.
Oh, he was breathing hard. If Tank gets hit by the punches that Leo landed by Alacran, you think it has a different effect?
I think it's just.
I don't think you believe in him.
Nah, you don't.
I don't.
Oh,
I really don't.
man.
I just think Alacran right now. It's
not even
in his
Jojo
prime.
Diaz could get some love. In
Jojo Diaz gets some love. I'll give Jojo Diaz love. They're too young.
and I think Gary
great,
Russell.
talented
Gary
guys.
Russell's just very skillful
and
very fast. He's gonna.
I'm kind of sad, right? I mean,
I don't want to put Jamal Herring in the picture
because
that's going to be very tough to go. But
all right, so clearly,
all right, so
we've said Gary Russell.
all right, so the 130 division is not for Tank. All right, he's the king.
that's
all
it.
right, so
yeah,
but yeah,
exactly.
35.
I'm
Honestly,
the super champ.
Yeah, we would like to see him. We would
He's
love.
EnVivo long live boxing unified.
We would love Tank to
move up to 135.
right. So that's the thing.
135.
We threw those names out there as a possibility, but the reality, to Manny's point, he's going to have to fight the kind of name that's going to draw attention. I think
And
Burchell
gain more
would,
respect.
but also to be a pay-per-view worthy fight.
That'll be a great because top rank Bob Uncle Bob he consistently says that our friends at Golden Boy and also our friends Floyd Mayweather, we can easily make that fight.
And they'll make
and
it
he's
happen.
mentioned it. He said I would love to make when with his other fighters that they can come to an agreement pretty fast. And
So you're saying right now that pretty much he will beat Oscar Valdez whenever that happens.
yes, I think I would lean. I would lean Alacran.
Okay,
I would
agree
lean
there.
heavily.
I
I would
agree
lean
there.
Alacran heavily.
I
in that
agree
But
there.
fight.
you want to bet?
I agree there.
I'm not even a
Absolutely.
better.
I agree
So
there.
that would set up a dream match, but well, I don't know how much.
I mean, am I going to see it?
Manny
Absolutely.
poo-pooed
don't
on my
care.
parade.
No. Am I going to see it? I'm giving you a hard time. If I want to see it, I am going to see it. Absolutely. Is it going to happen before a Devin Haney fight? I would think
Davis.
so.
Let me just
but
let me just
I'm
check.
just
Oh,
ready.
because Loma lost, so he wants to be king.
No. It's fine. I mean, I don't know what he's going to be doing next, and it's fine whatever he does. I don't think he'll have a chance, against his top guys either at the 130s either. But anyway, it's not about Loma. It's about
No, it's
what
all
we
about
wanna
Loma.
see is
It's
land.
all about Loma.
It's all
Manny.
what we want to see as fans, and the fans have the hype has been built up this weekend, and you know it.
Great weekend.
And you know how Floyd Mayweather and his team are. It's all going to be the A side, right? Tank Davis has to be the A side, and if he can't be the A side with Haney, he can't be the A side with Teofimo. He's probably going to go where he's the A side. He's going to be the main guy, and he can probably do
He's gonna
absolutely.
rematch Gamboa.
Burchell.
All right, so I have to throw this out there before I know, guys. We're gonna touch other topics, but just gotta check our brother's pulse. What about Tank at 130, and he's going to fight
Lomachenko.
Or
I don't
got-
think Loma wouldn't fight.
no. It's not what Loma wants. It's what Manny wants.
What me want?
Do you think that'll be a good matchup?
It'll be a good matchup, but I don't think it's in the best interest of Loma right now.
It's for a title.
I don't think it's a matchup that he would want to take right now. If I
You
was
think-
Loma, I wouldn't even consider it.
Wow, you're
High chance of getting knocked out? You think
Absolutely,
he gets knocked out?
Absolutely. Listen, guys, I
You
was able
abandoned
to.
your king so
I
fast.
don't abandon. and that's why I don't want to see it because I don't want to be in between it.
So
I
Tank
don't
is
want
the
to
new
be.
Loma.
I don't want to be in between it. It's like Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell. Can you feel me now?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now you feel me, right? I don't want to
Oh,
see
that
that because
kinda,
listen. I understand how now it's proven until he gets his act together. But it's proven that we can't really underestimate anymore. Tank Davis, people. This kid's it's the real shit.
is he a superstar?
No, not my superstar, but I have to acknowledge. And I always
Yeah,
said it. I'm not a huge fan of him. It is surprised all the things that I had in my mind that he needed to accomplish. He's missing one of them, and it's the outside incidents. That's all he needs to get his.
So
act
you think
together.
eventually that will consume him? And
It could. That's the thing. And before that happens, I want to be able. I'm very intrigued to see some of these top guys. Haney being dying to get into the spotlight. Can you imagine what's going to draw more attention? Devin Haney, Tank Davis, Burchell.
Oh, for
It's a no. Are you kidding
easy,
me?
easy.
Nah.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Devin
If they
Haney
announce
against
it right
Berchelt
now-
has a whole country behind him.
But
Haney has
it doesn't
a
matter.
gas station. Maybe
He's got more than a gas station.
He's got a paper check.
okay, he's got a park. Let's give him
He's got an email
a small
belt.
park. Yeah, he's got. Oh, Berchelt.
The email belt, sir.
In terms of not just I think fan interest. Yeah, I would much rather see Berchelt and Tank at 130.
We're gonna put this as a clip, so and then I'm gonna put a poll. You're saying right now that Berchelt versus Tank would be more fan interest than Haney versus Tank?
Only the hardcore know who Haney is.
I don't know.
I think the casual Mexican boxing fans know who Berchelt is.
I know, and we love Berchelt.
I think
we love his style.
overall, because it'll draw more
Don't
interest
get me
from the
wrong. I mean,
Mexican fan
it'd be a.
base.
I mean, go get it. Go get it.
We
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I'm
I'm gonna tell you right now. Tank Davis,
because we know who
just
Haney
give,
is.
Just give the belt to
a lot
Tank.
of people don't know who
Go
Haney
get
is.
Berchelt. Give the belt to Tank. That's what.
By the way, for
my
those that don't-
prediction right now, Berchelt and Tank, and I'm saying it today, November the 5th, he will beat
22.
Berchelt easy. Berchelt is not the same guy, and I'm sorry. I just it's
Easy?
based on what I've
Easy?
seen. Absolutely,
What's when you define? Just clarify real quick. No, guys,
it'll
we're
be a
gonna get
knockout.
Oh,
It'll be the
wow.
5th, 6th round.
Wow, just like Leo.
Yeah, I said 4th for Leo.
Wow.
I said 4th for Leo, and I was very impressed the way Leo handled himself. But the way Tank has proven to see
Tank's
himself,
got a new number one fan now.
I got he's a fan, and I don't like a lot of the things, but I really did enjoy.
As far as his talent.
As far as
Yeah.
talent, I have to give it up, guys.
Is it because he knocked out a Mexican?
No, not at all.
Oh,
Not at all.
that's what it was.
Not at all? Because I told you I'm more of a fan of Leo
No,
than
but-
Tank
no,
Davis. I told
Tank
you
is,
that.
Tank is great.
And I
but
said, and that's why you questioned me last time. So you are rooting for Tank? And I said, yeah, knockout. But I am a fan of Leo. I love Leo. He's a very charismatic guy. He's the people's champion. It was devastating. Listen, it was devastating for me when I saw that punch. The first thing I did is I got up my chair and I put my hands on my head and I was like, what just happened right now? I mean, I was like completely shocked for like 20 seconds trying to
I
guess
just
what
think,
happened.
I thought Leo was dead.
yeah, right.
Exactly, for
I
that
think
matter.
a lot of these guys gives him. I think even the WBO champ Jamel Herring gives him a run for his money. I think JoJo gives him a good run. I think Miguel Berchelt definitely.
I don't
gives
see.
him a
I
good
don't see
run.
Jamel Herring. I would say
He's very
Berchelt
slick.
be a lot
He's
better.
he's
Berchelt be a lot
slick.
better than Herring. Berchelt fight against Tank, absolutely, that would be a lot better than Herring.
Yeah, and at 135, I think any of those guys is definitely a lot more interest in Tio versus Tank.
Yeah,
would
give me
probably
the
be
entree.
bigger fight.
I'm ready
Yeah,
for the
that's-
entree.
that's
Let's
the-
get this tip going. I mean, doesn't
Devin
Oscar De La
Haney
Hoya
Devin
brags
Haney-
about Ryan Garcia being ready? Doesn't look at Floyd Mayweather. He's the best shit there is right now. I mean, don't they brag about this stuff? Teofimo has made a statement right now.
Yeah.
Shut everyone up. Okay, great. Fantastic. Why don't we start orchestrating things right now and start getting, this thing, we want to see who's the best. You want to make the most money. I think this is a time. Maybe not
Yeah,
immediately.
there's
Not immediately. Maybe he'll probably fight one of those champions of the
The
130.
opportunity
But
is
the
there.
reality is
The
I want to see.
opportunity is there.
I want to eat. And I want to eat my steak right now. I don't want appetizers or no nachos or chips and salsa.
He has. he
Damn,
has-
that's a nice
he has
little
plenty-
menu you put out there, sir.
I'm getting
Starting to
hungry.
get hungry.
Slow down.
I am
Now,
hungry.
speaking of hungry, we got to talk about our big boys. Gotta get a shout out to the heavyweights. So good stuff there.
Chisora.
And thank you, sir Hopper, for your information on the San
Hey,
Antonio
man, I appreciate
trip.
you going
That was
out.
great.
Loved
Great
it.
stuff, man.
Loved
Appreciate it. So speaking of Usyk, man, you talk about an enigma inside of a puzzle, inside of a riddle. This guy is extremely talented.
Love it.
He's injury prone.
Pure boxer.
He's hilarious outside of the ring. He's definitely a marketable fighter, right? From all standpoints. Yet we're being marketed that he's something that I'm not sure that he is. So he fought Chisora. He won, by decision. It went the distance, which kind of surprised me. Chisora was laying all over him, fighting, rough and tumbling and really laying on him with that 40-pound weight advantage, and really putting, my boy Usyk to task is really, making him work hard and not allowing him to fight on the outside. But eventually, Usyk did. Now, with that being said, and first I go to my brother Manny. What's your thoughts? Do you feel that Usyk, first of all, were you impressed with his performance? Because it was an ugly fight for me, but We impressed with his performance, his second fight at heavyweight, and is he a heavyweight?
And that's the question. I mean, just keep in mind that he had one fight before he fought Chisora. And Chisora ain't no... I mean, Chisora is Chisora. You know, he's fought a lot of the top guys. You know, he's fought Dylan White twice. He's fought Pulev. He's fought in a lot of the guys that are, you know, heavyweights. And when you're starting to move up in weight and you start feeling the power, it's a big difference. Mm-hmm. And you got to respect the power. And if you saw the first round, Chisora was throwing like, not grenades, I mean, like freaking rocket launchers. I mean, hitting them in the shoulder and all that stuff. And so, yeah, he's still got time to develop himself in there, but
got time to eat more.
Yeah, but the thing is that I was glad to see him in the distance because that definitely shows that, you know, how much he's got in his tank if he has to go that distance. If he's planning to fight Fury, if he's planning to fight some of these top champions, Anthony Joshua, if he's planning to fight some of these guys that can definitely potentially hit hard, but also they can land the distance, you got to be able to do that. And I think he did. Did he get comfortable at times? Yeah. But I think, you know, 10, 11 round, he was, you know, huffing and puffing too as well. So, I mean, this is a good experience for him. I don't think he's ready for the level of, you know, all these champions out here. But I think, for me, the best test right now that he can have, I think, is maybe Dylan White. You know, Dylan White was able to take Chisora and knock it out in the 11th round.
Dylan White, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that he needs to kind of, you know, prove himself still at the heavyweight. And can he do it? Absolutely. I like Usyk. Yep. Like you said, outside the ring is fantastic. He's very humble and also,
he's a comedian.
He's a comedian.
Yeah, I mean,
he showed up in the Joker costume. Joker costume
he's
to the way.
Crazy. I mean, that's what you want for the sport. You want
attitude,
entertainment, and Usyk does give the entertainment that the heavyweight needs. We don't need a Wilder story. We don't need all that crap.
Yeah, we'll definitely touch on that.
Yeah, that's why I'm not drinking water. But anyway,
I need to be careful with mine.
Hey.
Oh wait, Gringo sabotaged my water.
You gotta watch out.
But no, two things that stand out in the Usyk versus Chisora fight. Number one, Usyk, he fought the kind of fight that Leo needed to fight. You know, constantly using the ring and so on, working off the jab, keeping him honest. And Usyk is a pure boxer in terms of like pound for pound status. In terms of just pure boxing ability, Usyk's up there with the best. Usyk has fantastic boxing abilities. Which leads me to my next question. At cruiserweight, which he unified the cruiserweight division and moved up because he didn't have anything left to prove at the cruiserweight division. So he was kind of forced to move up, which leads me, I have a question for you guys. Do you guys think maybe there should be a super heavyweight division? Because Usyk was outweighed by almost 40 pounds by Chisora.
No.
And you can in the first 4 rounds, you could see the difference that the pressure that Chisora wanted. He wanted to take him out. And he was a big boy coming in there after him. And there were at times where even when Usyk blocked up punch, pushed him all the way back to the ropes. I mean, and they make a big difference. And we make a big deal about the weight classes in the lower divisions, and then this is just
there's not a
40
cap.
pounds.
There's
40 pounds is
unless it's not in the cap.
What would be something good like 225, 230 and up, and then because if you look at some of the guys that are the heavyweight champions, they're all significantly bigger than him. Anthony Joshua, 6'6", 237 pounds. Usyk stands at 6'1", 215 pounds around that range. So that's it. You know, AJ 6'6", Tyson Fury 250, 6'9".
Yeah.
You know, Deontay Wilder is 6'7", 213 pounds. So I think Usyk could probably do probably better with Wilder just in terms of outboxing him the whole fight. Right. Well, even fighting Andy Ruiz is in the 260s. 260. A lazy Ruiz is in the 280s. So even Joseph Parker is 240 pounds.
Yeah.
So he's
you know, I don't know. That's a really good question. The only thing I can say is that will be a forgotten division because the most competition you have is going to be within the heavyweights.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing.
It's not going to go like who's going to really dominate that. Okay, guess what? I don't have anyone up here. Let me go down. So they'll
go down a heavyweight.
And you know, and honestly, I think kind of to Manny's point, I think that it would be forgotten from the standpoint of the main reason why he's there. There's more money.
Yeah.
It's the glamorous division. It's
the
division to be in.
I don't think
he's gonna have to suck it up and try not to get knocked out.
Right. It's like
to get his head knocked
a heavyweight trying to go down to the light heavyweight.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know what I mean?
Yeah.
it's definitely a tough
175 from
situation.
220.
I think it was a good matchup as far as a bigger guy that's been battle tested. That's a grinder in Chisora and somebody that's going to really kind of put Usyk to task in that.
He was
in the
throwing
beginning. I mean, I thought
those
he had
first 2
hurt.
rounds.
Yeah.
Oh, he
He was
was.
letting him fly, and that's
Yeah.
that's the strategy he had to use, and then lay on him and really kind of wear down Usyk and get him tired, and you can see the
put his
the
big old
effects.
massive.
Yeah, just kind of lean on him and lean into him, and it caused a lot of problems.
Wow.
Even looking at the list right now, as far as all the different sanctioning bodies, there's not really a name that jumps out to me that I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe Charles Martin, but Michael Hunter, like kind of what you were saying, Hopper, maybe the smaller guys, that are, I say small in comparison to, the bigger giants that are,
6'9", 250
yeah,
Fury.
those guys. But no, I think it's kind of now or never. I mean, he's 34 years old. He's been through a lot of wars himself. He's had a lot of injuries, and he's trying to cash in. So he's not going to be around long enough for them making a new division, and he's definitely not going to be looking to kind of go back down because he's already left his mark, and he's here to stay. So I guess that leaves this. He's a pound for pound talent for sure, but he's in the wrong division. I think that's the best way how I look at him.
That's exactly it.
And I think he's in a situation where he's kind of.
There's nothing else. I mean, he's forced to because there's
He's
nowhere else he
forced.
can go.
There's
It's
nowhere
not like
else
he can go down to
He
light
can't go
heavyweight.
down
He
to light
can't go
heavyweight.
down.
That's no way.
No.
And then he's got to go up there. Now the problem is that those belts are pretty much dominated, across the board. The guys that are probably he's still gonna have to probably maybe fight the regular champion Manuel Char.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
AJ was at the fight. AJ was at the fight. I think.
Right, he was.
I think he'll take the Usyk fight. I think
He will?
Like Gary Russell said, he was licking his chops. Because Usyk, just in terms of size advantage, because I think this will be definitely a fight that AJ will consider.
Well, I mean,
it'll do big business.
Well, who do you
'cause Usyk's
think?
a
Who do you
name.
think Usyk needs to fight if AJ doesn't go through?
I would say
Realistically, if you
Joseph
wanna-
Parker, just to get him.
Joseph Parker.
So
Joseph
not a
Parker-
direct champion.
No,
not a
not
Manuel
yet.
Char. At least to go get part of the WBA regular.
See how he can handle somebody, because Joseph Parker can box, and he's got the size. So let's see how he can do with somebody like a Joseph Parker, and then that could probably set him up for an AJ fight. Because I think Tyson Fury just maws him.
Oh,
He's
he
just
kills
way
him.
too big.
He's
I
just
think
too big.
Usyk and
Fury?
Usyk and Fury. No,
I think Fury
That's
just
a huge
maws him.
difference. That's going to be like a
I think,
Tyson.
yeah.
Well, that's
He's
like
just
a
gonna-
Tyson.
he walked down
Tyson
Deontay
Buster
Wilder.
Douglas.
He walked down Deontay
Tyson
Wilder in the
Buster
second
Douglas.
fight. He just said,
That's
"You know
why.
what? I'm not gonna box you." Yank. And he walked him. He'll
Yeah.
do the same thing to Usyk.
Well-
He'll just walk him down, and Fury can box.
Yeah, he definitely can. So that's
So
kind of like the
bigger skilled guy is always going to beat the smaller skilled guy.
That was
the way it
the
is.
argument for Bo versus Holyfield.
Gringo, question for you.
Yes,
I'm just throwing it out there.
I am
just
hungry.
throwing
Yes.
it out there. All right, I'm going to give you DeAndre.
What's for
Sure,
dinner?
you can pay. Yes.
Usyk,
After dinner.
Deontay Wilder.
Who do I like more?
Usyk, Deontay Wilder.
Oh, fighting.
Right.
Who wins
Sorry,
that fight? Who
this
wins
is
that
a
fight?
boxing podcast. My bad, guys.
Thinking about food.
I know, right?
Who wins that fight?
Is that a good fight for you? And
They're both
is
about-
It fair?
I mean,
is it good? Do you think it's
Wilder-
something that we want to watch? That you would want to watch? That you go kind of a little bit crazy about?
Wilder
All right,
has
so
a
I know it's
six-
kind of
just to think
peeking a
about
little bit ahead, but I think for the sake of time, right now, I'm not sure that Deontay Wilder is mentally fit to kind of really do anything. But
Why
I'm
do you
not-
say that?
Well, because he put a statement out there to kind of show that he's crazy and he threw anybody under the bus.
Anybody that was in that, I think he threw out the fans too.
They called out Manny.
They witchcraft him. They did something. I mean, that's the only thing that was missing was the fans were witchcrafting me from the stands.
No, but in all seriousness, I guess as far as we'll touch on that more as far as the statement we're talking about. As far as boxing goes, I would have to. Man, that's the thing because
you mentioned he's 33, so he's not young.
34, yeah,
34,
they're
so
about
he's
the
not
same
young.
weight.
So, I mean, he's got what four fights, maybe more, 4 fights. How many?
Who, Wilder?
Not Wilder, but Usyk.
Yeah, he's probably got 3 or 4 fights.
No, he's got. I think he's still got because he seems to be in well condition. You know, treats his body well. I think he's got.
At
a few
heavyweight?
more. At heavyweight, yeah, I think he'll have a few more.
Keep in mind,
if he's maneuvered the right way, I can.
Let's see. That's
want
the
to
thing.
cash out. Even if he wants to, I don't think he could fight Tyson Fury. There's confliction of networks. I don't know how that would work out.
I mean, I'm just trying to throw opponents there.
No.
Get excited about Usyk.
So yeah,
we
who
already
do you think beats him?
we already excited about Usyk.
I think Wilder knocks him out.
You think so?
You do?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, guys, and this is Wilder is
He's
clearly
a Wilder fan.
crazy. No. Hell no.
Yeah,
Even though he's clearly
loves
crazier
him
than
Wilder.
a box of weasels.
Just trying to throw us off the scent.
No.
Criticism.
Did you see his
track
track?
shirt? My tattoo.
He's got the Bronx Bomber sticker.
Jesus.
Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad.
I knew it, Gringo. It's on his head. It's bald head. The bombs.
Oh man, I'm a hot mess.
Oh,
no, but
Hey, is that why you're not drinking water, right?
Yeah, that's true. I don't trust you guys. So here's the thing: if they were to announce the fight, like if Wilder were to fight Usyk, yeah, I think he would definitely knock him out. And the reason why is,
I don't think so.
Man, I'm confident he would.
You think so?
I'm gonna have to disagree with you.
I don't think.
No, I mean,
they're about
that's why we have the show.
Even said it
They're
mentally-
about the same weight.
They're about the same
He's
weight.
not bigger than Usyk, but he's taller than him. He's got maybe about a 6-inch height advantage.
It's the
But in
reach.
terms of weight, yeah, he has a bigger reach for sure. Definitely, it's 83 inches compared to 78. But I mean, that's only 5 inches.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
here's the thing, and again, even though this guy's crazy in a bag of weasels, on fire.
Are you gonna give him a sober ref or a drunk ref?
Eat both. I think that
You really said
if
that
you
about
really
Kenny
really
Bayless.
look at it,
Don't think about
okay,
it.
hear me out.
Okay, I hear
Looking
you.
at all of the heavyweights, and we talk about the the
Who can he
revolving
beat?
door. If you remove right now Tyson Fury, let's say he retired, who's number one? Who's number two after that? Then it's what, AJ and Wilder,
AJ for sure.
right? AJ and Wilder, and I think that Wilder. Think about you're going from Chisara, who's been knocked out like 10 times, right? And he's I'm not saying
He's gonna fight again.
but I'm
Hopefully.
saying
hopefully.
like that's a huge jump. And then, I think like in the second round, definitely like in the fourth and fifth round, there's a couple times that, Usyk almost got rocked.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking those same shots would
Okay. So you're saying because he's tall and he's got the 2-second
reach.
punch. Right.
And
okay.
he's got Thor's hammer. and-
Hopper. I'm gonna throw you one.
Throw it.
I'm gonna throw you
I'm
one.
gonna spike it.
Usyk,
Alley-oop.
Butterbean.
Dunk it.
Usyk,
oh, the
Andy
new
Ruiz.
Butterbean.
The
Lazy
new
Ruiz.
Butterbean? Andy?
Usyk, Andy Ruiz.
Well, which Andy Ruiz? The Majin Buu Ruiz or Skinny Ruiz?
Whatever Ruiz comes out
Skinny
right
Boo,
now.
Because
Because we know the Ruiz that fought,
they didn't know. So
Joshua,
did Ruiz that
but-
fought Anthony Joshua gives him a good run? Nah, I think Andy Ruiz will outweigh him by too much. 260 pounds if he comes in heavy. At 260 pounds, yes. At 280 pounds, Andy's just too fat at that point. It's just like that size
He would
is
just dance
a
around him.
detriment at that point. Too much size, brother. If he's in the right size, 260 pounds, they're almost about the same height. I think
That's the thing, though, the height.
and then Andy is an underrated as a boxer. I don't think he's given as much credit for his technique. He's got very fast hands, very great head movement. I think Andy will probably take it. I think if a motivated 260-pound Andy
Right.
can just walk him down a little bit,
Right.
with that just bigger frame. Than
Would he be
has.
afraid of Usyk's power?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Usyk
Because I don't think Usyk at any point had Chisora,
the seventh.
Just could
Maybe in the seventh, right? Yeah, but
that's it.
other than that, though, no, I don't think.
And even that was like a barrage.
Yeah, accumulation kind of
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah. So no, good stuff.
Well, I mean, in a nutshell, everyone. I mean, I think that
We're
we
not too
have
convinced
yeah,
by
we're not
Usyk
too
at heavyweight.
convinced
In
yet,
other
but
words,
I think
at
we have
cruiserweight, pound for
Yeah.
pound greatest.
We have
one of the goats of all time at cruiserweight. Heavyweight,
Yeah.
maybe just another guy.
We
So-
have an exciting boxer here at the heavyweight, so we're just kind of brainstorming to see what can happen for him in the future.
Some
and,
heavyweight talks.
yeah, heavyweight talks. and we're
Sponsored by
looking for
Sweat
Boxing Gym.
Boxing Gym. Upcoming fight November 21st. Listo Gaitan.
November 20th, Friday.
November 20th.
November
that's a
20th, Friday.
Yeah,
Johnson Center here in Irving, Texas. The locals are back, ladies and gentlemen, and so are us. We'll be back with episode number 55. En vivo.
En vivo.
Siempre. Adiós.